Hi guys, my name is Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about King energy. So I just did a video on Queen energy that you could watch if you would like to. But this is about King energy, which is very important to me as I have a son and have a husband, for men to understand what makes them individuals, what makes them powerful, and what makes them special. Okay, and I'm doing this. I did the Queen energy first, and I want to explain a little bit of this. Men have been taught in this new age to be cold. What cold makes you is sort of uncaring and closed off. And because of this, women have had to set themselves on fire for balance. So women who are naturally more cold have had to become hot, losing themselves, becoming too empathic in the process. So men really do have the ability to turn the tides by changing their heat spectrum into that of something hot. And what I've noticed is men have noticed that women have had to set themselves on fire. A lot of men have. They're like, there is a lot of this going around. But instead of being hot themselves, they stay cold, closed off, but all of a sudden they try to care. And when a man is cold and tries to care, it actually makes them useless. Why are they useless? Because if you're cold, you're closed off, but you're caring. So you're like, oh, I really care. I really, really care. You do your thing, girl. You keep being fireful. You keep lighting yourself on fire, because that's balance for me, but you do whatever you want to do while you're lit on fire. And the truth is that women, when they're lighting themselves on fire, they're dying inside, because they can no longer create life. If they are consistently being full of fire, they are no longer able to incubate and create from that darkness and that cold and that deep ocean of emotion that they have. And men have to understand that. And so if you do care about women in this sense, this is something that I think is really important for you. If you don't care about women, I would still like you to watch this and sort of understand how you're actually ruining your own life by not being hot. So, King energy is really the power of a man to rule over his own life. Okay, and that does include this family and his career in his life. And he rules over like a king. He treats his queen and his children and everything with respect and love. Um, and so, in order to do that, these are some sort of traits that have been considered bad that I want to encourage in men: arrogance, fiery, passionate personality, and ruthlessness. Now, if these are directed, if these are pushed down inside of you, they will be directed at your family, at your children, at your job, and at your life. But if they are accepted as a part of who you are, you will be able to direct them positively and in a better way, in a way that actually matters and that can actually change the world for good. You see, royal energy is warm. It's purple. Hot energy is red, cold energy is blue. Tell women they should be blue, men you should be red, because eventually you'll get too purple. But right now you're probably too blue. You're probably too blue, and your purpleness comes out every once in a while, and nobody wants to see that. And you see, be red, because that will encourage your mind and your soul to really give love to your body. Now, your body naturally is going to be blue. It's cold. It's diving into the emotions. And your soul wants to meet your body, which will create something purple. But if a man is not in touch with his soul and his mind and the things that he is thinking, because he's not able to utilize his own energy, he will just lose that altogether, and he'll all become this an emotional power that sort of abuses other people. A man can't allow his emotions to run wild, and that's what happens when you're closed off. You're afraid of your emotions, normally, probably. You think they're destructive and bad, and so you close off, which becomes just your body is like, no, in general, no. And this is something actually that's very interesting, is man spreading, right? Being open is good for a man. A woman should be closed off, body language wise. A woman should not be open to the entire world. At first, body language is a way to prove that. But if a body language is only covering up the fact that you are not this, it becomes icky. And that's what people see. So you see, a king might appear hot, but he's merely warm, because your energy is hot. It's excited. It's passionate. And being able to keep this passion on the forefront and keeps the anxiety and the fear away from when you're sleeping and you can't sleep because you have to drink or drug yourself to sleep, or you just work until you're exhausted and you pass out. All of these things are not naturally good for you because it means that you're missing out on some part of you that wants to lust for life, that enjoys your life, that loves your life. And before we can even think about your family and your children and all these other things, we do have to think about a king on his own loving his life. And so if you're a man, do you love your life? Do you think one of these things, like, my life is so great, I love it so much because of what people bring to me? Because that's not loving life. That's just kind of sort of wanting other people to bring stuff to you to make you feel better. And the other one is, maybe you feel like, yeah, you're not supposed to love life. Maybe your soul incarnation, or your life is just meant for grinding. Maybe that's who you are. Maybe that's what society wants, and maybe life really is a bitch and then you die. But I would tell you that life is better than that. It's meant to be explored. It's meant for a man to move around and to see different things and not to be stuck in the same job forever and then die of a heart attack when it's gone. It's not to just go home to a wife that you don't know if you love anymore because you've lost your connection to her because she's become too hot and nagging and she's at your throat all the time because you're too cold, and you move away even more and more, and then you meet another woman who's not nagging you, and you have an affair and you start up a new family with this person and it ends up the exact same. These are bad things that happen to men. And I'm going to say that they happen to you because they do. When you're forced into something that you don't love, your natural instinct is to move. So you move out of it. You leave. You do something bad. And this kind of stuff is shit that's actually encouraged for a man to do. Like, unnaturally and unconsciously, a man is told, don't be hot, don't be passionate, don't destroy stuff. You're so destructive. Your emotions are crazy. All you want to do is kill, and you're not supposed to do that. And it's like, no, actually, a man should be on fire. And yes, if your killing energy is directed in a good way, it won't be directed in a bad way. And especially won't be directed inward, where you just want to kill yourself all the time, hurt yourself because you can't achieve the things that you want to achieve. And part of this killing, let's think about killing for a second, this killing energy, this hot energy that wants to set stuff on fire. This is about dominating. Men are competitive creatures, competitive by instinct. You want to be the best. You want to rise to the highest mountain. I'm not saying that women don't, but women do it a completely different way. And women are more likely to put their own needs below the needs of somebody else. A man is not, and that's okay. So what you have to do is consider that in every move you make, that you are not like the women around you, and you are maybe not like other men around you, that you are you. That is your power, and your power is to move. Your power is to dominate things, and your power is to rise to the top of the mountain. Now that you know that, how are you going to get there? With love and respect to the people around you, or with ruthlessness against anybody who's holding you back? Men make decisions, but they sort of feel like they're out of their own decisions because you allow life to move you instead of you move it. And this is where a man really gets on this, you get on this emotional roller coaster that you're not emoting on because you're sort of sitting on the water and letting the water of life move you. And in reality, you're meant to be a part of the water. And being a part of the water will allow you to know that you're not something that is meant to try to control things around you. You're meant to have power over them by having power over your own life. And you're meant to live your life with love and respect because your life is the most important part of you. If you can't remember that your life is the most important part of that you, everything's going to go wrong. Your life is so important, and it needs you to pay attention to it. When I say that, I mean that your soul, if you believe in a soul, your mind, they're so separated from your personal life, which is your body, that maybe you don't necessarily understand the power of your physical life and you're just waiting to die and you haven't even realized that yet. All of this, thinking about all this stuff, this depression, this deep, cold energy that puts you into these places where you're like, I could do bad things. This is all about you not loving your own life. You have to love your own life, the beauty of your own life, the beauty of women and what women have to offer. Life. There's a bunch of power that comes from a man when he's able to do that. It all of a sudden opens himself up for happiness and for understanding that he is good. He is good in his passion. You as a man are good in your passion. You're good in your desire. You're good in your lust for life. But you have to be aware of its existence inside of you. And that power and control are two completely separate things, and one is good and one is bad. Power is perfect. Power over things is respect and love. And that's power over your own body, to make sure that you know you have complete power over the things that you do. Nothing comes out of nowhere. Nothing is anything that can be seen in the dark, because you are light and you move your body. Control is trying to control water so that it doesn't move anymore. Controlling life, controlling animals, controlling women. We think about Harvey Weinstein. He abused his power. Abuse of power is nothing but control. When a man starts to control, he becomes abusive. When a man has power over his own life and he knows what he is capable of and he utilizes what he's capable of and he doesn't shove it down because he's afraid of it, that is when he grows and he becomes rooted and he becomes powerful in his own life. And I would say that if you look around and you think about yourself and you hate any part of your manhood, any part of what you are as a man or what you bring to the table, or any part of your own life. If you're like, I hate my wife, I hate my house, I hate something, think about why you hate it, and then maybe understand that there's things that you could move and shake up in your life. And I'm not talking about in a, what is that called, midlife crisis scenario. I'm talking about doing it because this is about you, and this is about saving your own life, saving your family, saving your ability to not just grind for the man, not just work your ass off for somebody who doesn't give a shit about you, and to be yelling at everybody because they're doing the wrong thing and they're believing the wrong things and they're all a bunch of stupid animals. It's about you living in you and doing the things that you can do to make your life better and better for people around you. So there's things that all men have the power to be, and when they are kings, they can do all of these. And so if there are things that you're missing, these might be what you want to find out in your own life. So all kings are competitive in some way. You have a strong competitive drive. It's because you're hot. You need to keep your eye on the prize to keep your focus. This is why it works so well in corporate America, that they hang a carrot up on a stick and they say, you're going to be like the general manager. You'll be manager one day, or whatever it is. It's because they know, and it works for men to dangle a carrot in front of a stick. They're going to try to get it, and they want to get it before another person does. This is instinctual in a man, and it's important then that you keep some form of competition around you. And if you hate your job, make sure that competition is outside of your job, so that you're competing with something that actually makes you better. And then make sure you're not competing with the ones you love, because there is no more competition in your job. If you lose competition in your job, you need to quit it and find a new one. Those things kill you, and then they hurt the people you love. Another thing is, if there's nowhere you can compete because you can't, it is important to get a game that you can compete on. This is why men are gamers. But don't let that rule your life. If you can find a place to compete that might make you move more, find that. Another thing is being a musician. All kings are musicians. They all understand the divine rhythm of notes. And this is what recalculates your brain, realigns yourself and your body, is that music is perfectly structured and formatted. And this means that you need a musical outlet, whether it's you have your own instrument, whether you have a DJ setup or a microphone you can sing, or you do spend time singing. As long as you can spend quality time with music daily, and I'll realign your mind to the perfect structure of the notes, you can enter that musician part of you that is definitely in there. Every man might have a desire at one point or another to be a rock star, and this is because of that. Science. Every man is a scientist. Every man knows what to put in their body. Every man knows how to prove something. Probably astrology will be proved by a man. only because a woman doesn't care to prove it. A man does. There's another thing. I know a lot of women who tell men what to eat, and they shouldn't. Every man should know what they're putting into their body. They should be aware of that. This science stuff, science is a part of man's structure, and that is why science is so big, because we do live in a male-dominated society where men are more important and the things that they like are more important. So science is more important than spirituality right now because it's so male-dominated. But every man has the ability to grab onto that, and so you should, for your own chemical awareness, for your own body, for understanding your own makeup of the things that you like to do, and take things apart, put them back together. This is you. It's a part of you. Every man is a role model or a model. It's important that every man knows that everything you're doing, everything a man does, is being watched. And it's not for paranoia. I think there's a lot of men, when they become too antisocial, they start getting paranoid that they are being watched, because there is a sense that you are being watched, and every man knows that. What's watching you? It doesn't really matter. But instead of taking that like, oh no, I need to hide myself even more because I'm being watched, you need to rise, to stay hot, to stay out and open, but do it all. There's so many airplanes. To do all of it in the world being watched. To know that you're watched, and so you do good things because of your knowledge of being watched. You have to know that there are no dark places safe for you. None. Because you will, no matter what you do in the dark, you will experience deep shame from doing it. So just remember, you're always being watched, and that's good. It keeps you in check. Another thing is, you're a reality star and an entertainer. Every man is. Every man is entertainment. They just are. Women are more comedians. Women are funny and dark. Men are entertainers. And whether that they can go in a comedic way or it's just bringing life into the room. No woman should have to rely on herself to bring life into the room. And I know I'm not being wrong about women. Women can easily bring life into the room. But the truth is that if you want to treat any woman like a queen, you be a king. You're the one who brings the life in. You be the hospitable one. You be the one who is excited about living, excited about the ways that you can make life better, and excited about making people laugh and making people have a fun time. Every man has this ability to do that. And that's the gift that you can give the people who know you. And every man is a producer. Men are great at putting things together and bringing them out the world. They're also really good at shining light in dark places, meaning they're good at finding people who would otherwise be undiscovered. They're good at putting things together because they understand science, the mechanics of things. They can put things together and showcase them to the world in a really good way. You know how to make things of worth by working in a community. Every man can do that, and every king can do all of those, and they will have no problem doing it. And once they're able to utilize all parts of themselves, they can start to see what they really enjoy doing, and they can head off in that direction. You can find out what is truly unique to you by knowing that every king can do all of these things at one time. And you don't have to hate your life, because once you do all these things, you realize how great life is and how much life wants you to be in it. Women like men around them. They do. Other men love men around them when that man is a king. But you know what? Most people hate having normal average Joes around them because they're not kings. We only want to be in the presence of kings. It's a human nature. And so you can't force people to want to be in your presence if you're not a king. If you're a king, people will come to you. It's just the way of the world. And I think it's a big deal, is that if you feel like you have to force people to look at you, to like you, you're not a king. And that's where things become bad. And that's where you need to be understanding your own self to learn how to burn brightly. And once you meet your body, that hot energy, it becomes purple, which is the color of royalty. Mixes with that blue. And you don't have to be closed off. You don't have to be like having sex with everybody. But you need to be open to allowing people to come to you. And I think that is a really important part about king energy and life with men. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.